They kidnapped my children. The HOA actually took them, claiming I had violated their sacred community rules. Why? Because they believed I had illegally purchased a home in a 55-plus neighborhood. Except I didn't. My lawyer had already proven my property was outside their jurisdiction, but the HOA didn't realize who they were messing with, because I'm not just any homeowner. I'm a federal judge, and they had just committed the biggest legal blunder of their pathetic lives. How far would you go if the HOA took your family? Welcome to my channel. If you love insane HOA revenge stories, hit that subscribe button, because this one is wild. The morning started like any other. Coffee was brewing, the smell of toast filled the kitchen, and my kids, Alex and Sophie, were chattering about their upcoming soccer tournament. I was reviewing case notes for an upcoming federal court session when I heard the unmistakable rustling of papers shoved through my mail slot. Another notice from the HOA. I sighed, already bracing myself for another petty complaint about grass height or mailbox colors. But as I unfolded the letter, my breath caught. Final warning. You are in violation of HOA residency requirements. Immediate eviction required. All unauthorized minors must be removed from the premises within 24 hours. Failure to comply will result in further action. I frowned. Unauthorized minors? I read the line again, pulse starting to race. My home, a beautiful 3-bedroom colonial, sat outside their community boundaries. When I bought it, I had made sure with my lawyer that my property wasn't under their HOA. I even had county zoning maps proving it. Yet now these busybodies were claiming I'd broken their age restriction rule that said no one under 55 could live in the neighborhood. I tossed the letter on the counter and grabbed my phone. Elliot, we've got a problem, I said the second my attorney picked up. The HOA is trying to evict my kids. Elliot sighed. We went through this during closing. Your house isn't under HOA jurisdiction. It's just a scare tactic. I'll send a cease and desist today. That should have been the end of it. A minor annoyance, a typical HOA overstep. But I underestimated just how far these people were willing to go. The next day, I came home to gut-wrenching silence. No laughter, no video game sounds, no clinking of dishes. Just silence. Panic crawled up my spine. Alex, Sophie, I called, rushing inside. The house was empty. My stomach dropped when I saw their backpacks by the door, untouched from that morning. Their sneakers were still neatly lined up. My gut screamed something was wrong. I yanked my phone out and dialed my son, straight to voicemail. My daughter's phone, same thing. The panic turned ice cold. I called their friends' parents. No one had seen them. My hands shook as I dialed 911. The dispatcher's voice was calm but firm. Sir, are you reporting a missing persons case? My throat was dry, but I forced the words out. Yes, my 2 children. They're missing. The next 2 hours were a blur. Officers arrived, combing the house, asking me the same questions on repeat. When did I last see them? Had I noticed anything strange? Did I have enemies? As a federal judge, I had plenty of enemies, but none had ever dared come near my children. Then an officer at the mailbox frowned. Sir, we found this. He held out another HOA letter, taped to my door. My fingers clenched around the paper as I read. As your unauthorized tenants have failed to vacate, the HOA has taken steps to ensure compliance. Your children will be held in a safe location until this matter is resolved. My vision blurred with rage. I had presided over hundreds of federal cases. I'd seen criminal enterprises, human traffickers, corrupt politicians, but never had I seen a damn HOA kidnap children. The officers read over my shoulder, their expression shifting from confusion to horror. Did your HOA just admit to taking your kids? one asked in disbelief. Yes, I said, forcing myself to stay calm. And they have no idea who they just messed with. The search began immediately. Officers swarmed the neighborhood, knocking on doors, questioning board members. Suddenly, no one seemed to know anything. Then my neighbor, Mrs. Harper, an elderly woman who always baked cookies for my kids, tugged me aside. Judge, I saw something strange this morning, she whispered nervously. 2 men in suits, never seen them before, came to your house after you left. Your kids got into a black SUV. They didn't look scared, but they didn't look happy either. My pulse pounded. Where did they go? They drove toward the HOA clubhouse, she said, lowering her voice. That was enough. I turned to the officers. We're going to that clubhouse, now. The police escorted me as I stormed through the HOA's front doors. Karen Wills, the self-proclaimed president of this power-hungry circus, sat behind a massive mahogany desk, smiling like a smug snake. Ah, Judge Carter, I was expecting you, she purred, adjusting her pearl necklace. How dare you? I slammed the letter onto her desk, my voice shaking with fury. Where are my children? Karen tilted her head, feigning innocence. Your illegal tenants have been relocated to a more appropriate environment until this matter is sorted out. That's kidnapping, I said, voice dangerously low. Do you understand what you've done? Oh, please don't be dramatic, she said with a smirk. They're at a board-approved interim guardianship facility while we finalize their removal. I dug my nails into my palms. This lunatic actually believed what she was saying. Where are they? I enunciated, every word sharp as glass. Somewhere safe, she breathed. Now stop making a scene. The HOA has rules. Rules, rules, rules. Rules. She had stolen my children, and she was talking about rules. But she had made a fatal mistake. She thought she held the upper hand. I turned to the officers. You heard her. She's openly admitting to detaining minors without consent. The lead officer straightened. Mrs. Wills, if you don't tell us where the children are immediately, you'll be charged with felony unlawful detainment, conspiracy, and endangerment of minors. Karen's smile faltered. This is a civil matter. We are merely enforcing community standards. Shut the hell up, I snapped, rage boiling over. I'm a federal judge, you lunatic. This isn't civil, this is federal kidnapping. Her confidence cracked. She wasn't used to pushback. She was used to winning through intimidation. But not today. An officer stepped behind her, pulling out cuffs. Mrs. Wills, you're under arrest for unlawful detainment. Wait, she screeched, struggling as the cuffs clicked around her wrists. They're at Lakewood Christian Academy. I didn't wait. I didn't speak. I ran. I drove like a madman, ignoring speed limits, blasting through red lights. Police sirens wailed behind me, but I barely noticed. My heart hammered in my chest. They had my kids. That psychotic HOA thought they could kidnap my children and treat them like property in their rulebook. They had no idea what they had just done. When I screeched into the school's parking lot, I barely threw the car in park before bolting. Officers rushed inside with me. The school looked normal, kids on the playground, parents chatting. But I knew my children were somewhere inside, being held against their will. The principal, a frazzled man in his 60s, met us in the front office. What is the meaning of this? He stammered. The lead officer held up the HOA's notice. Sir, do you have 2 children here under the custody of the Willow Creek HOA? The principal blinked, confused. Where are they? I cut in, my voice like ice. He swallowed, then pointed. Room 214. I didn't wait. I sprinted down the hallway, blood roaring in my ears. I shoved the door open so hard it slammed against the wall. There they were. Alex and Sophie sat at 2 desks, frightened but unharmed. A woman, in a stiff navy suit, stood beside them, eyes widening as I stormed in. Who the hell are you? She snapped, stepping between me and my children. I ignored her, rushing forward and pulling them into my arms. Dad, Sophie sobbed, clinging to me. We didn't know what was happening. They took us. It's okay, baby, I whispered, holding her tight. I'm here now. Alex hugged me just as fiercely, his small body trembling. I would have burned the world down for this moment. The woman cleared her throat. Mr. Carter, you have no right to be here. These children were placed under temporary HOA guardianship. Shut up. My voice was low, venomous, and the room froze. The officers stormed in behind me. Ma'am, one said, step away from the children. She scoffed. The HOA has legal grounds. You are not the government, I snapped. You are not the police. You are not a legal entity with jurisdiction over anything. And you sure as hell don't have the right to detain minors. Arrest her, I told the officers. They didn't hesitate. Ma'am, you're under arrest for unlawful detainment and conspiracy to commit kidnapping. This is outrageous, she screeched as the cuffs locked around her wrists. I pulled my kids behind me, shielding them. No. What's outrageous is a glorified neighborhood watch thinking they can play judge and jury. And they were about to learn what real legal power looked like. The email was laughable. A settlement proposal for HOA reformation. I opened it, scanned through the message, and almost burst out laughing. They were actually trying to